Welcome to FYI, the podcast where we have brief career chats with various professionals. My name is Diana Ramirez.
And my name is Sarah Shamasha. We are first-year experienced counselors, aka FYE. Hint, hint, our podcast name. Our vision with this podcast is to share the career journeys of alumni who started at the community college.
We are starting in 3,
2,
1.
Yay.
Welcome to another episode. We are here with some lovely guests. And today's episode is extra special because we are joined not by one, but by 2 unique guests, a pair of twins.
Yay!
Their names are Jordan and Sydney Cummings, who both started their educational journey at Grossmont College. Both wanted to work in the criminal justice system, but each chose a different pathway within that field.
Yes. Jordan majored in forensic technology and biology at Grossmont. She's graduating with her associate degrees this semester, and she's planning on transferring to SDSU for biology in the fall. Sydney majored in administration of justice at Grossmont and just finished her criminal justice bachelor's at SDSU. She's currently job hunting and working at Starbucks. We're so excited to learn how their paths have diverged and what they're up to now. Welcome, Jordan and Sydney.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. We said that the same. Oh yeah, twin telepathy right there.
Yeah, there you
in
go.
action.
Strong. Have you all ever been on a podcast before?
No, this is our first time.
We've got a lot of first timers.
We do.
How
That's
exciting.
Yes. Do you all listen to podcasts or anything?
Mostly like true crime podcasts, I would
Rough,
say.
you know.
Yeah. Kind of comes with the...
The Rotten Mango, have you?
Oh my gosh,
I
yes.
love Rotten Mango.
Yeah, that's such a good one. I'm not too much into the crime podcast because I get too paranoid. But
That's
her,
honestly,
like
yeah.
some of the ones that some things that she's covered, I can listen to. But
Yeah.
I really like her.
Yeah.
She's very gets the details, but in a very good story way or whatever.
Yes.
But that's
I
really cool.
love watching her channel.
Well, awesome. Now you all are podcast girlies
Wow.
too. Let's go. Awesome. Well, I was telling Sarah when we started this episode that I just really love twin telepathy challenges. Through and through, love watching every YouTube video. There's a few YouTuber twins that I watch, and they always do these challenges and stuff like that. And I was like, if I were to be a twin, no one in my family is a twin, so I don't have any connections to what that life is like, and I know you all don't know otherwise.
It's so funny too because the first question that we always get asked when people find out that we're twins is oh, is the twin telepathy real?
Really?
Is that real?
Yeah.
And first
Number
question,
one question.
always.
Yeah.
And then what's your answer?
I'm it's I can't read her mind obviously, but we obviously have all of the same experiences and we're almost the same person. So obviously we have a lot of answers, and they I can finish her sentences. Yeah. I know the story before she even tells it, because I was there. So.
Yeah, that's very true. But no one's put it to the test before.
No.
Woo! Oh my God, I'm sorry. By the way, I'm a little sick, so if I sound a little, there, but my energy's here today. I think it's a good day to kind of do this. So there's different ways to kind of go about this, but since we're kind of more in an audio kind of podcast, we thought we'll give you 3 words, and out of the 3 words, you have to say the same one, right? Try to match it, and then we'll count it down, right?
Okay.
So let's kind of go. So the first one is between sun, moon, or stars.
Okay.
So then I'll say 3, 2, 1, and then you say
Okay.
your word.
Okay.
Again, it is sun, moon, stars. Hold on. Are you all connecting? Are you all visually?
Yeah, we're having our moment. No, I can feel it. I can feel it.
Okay. All right. So again, sun, moon, stars. On 3, 2, 1.
Moon.
Oh my
I was not thinking you were going to get that.
It's just real. I knew from the moment she said all 3, I was like, we're both going to choose moon.
Really?
I can't believe you didn't have faith in
Well,
me.
I knew I was going to choose moon, but I was going between. I didn't know if she was going to do moon or stars, but I was like, I think moon.
Yeah. No, we got that.
Jordan's like, you better read me. I'm going to choose this. Okay.
I was like, wait, Blake.
Oh my God, that was so surreal for me because I've only seen this in videos and now it's live. A little fangirl moment.
Right, no, I love it. Yeah.
That's a thing. Okay, all right. And we'll do another one. So same thing. The words are apple, banana, or grape.
Oh.
Again, apple, banana, or grape.
Well, right, but like, well, I have mine.
I have mine.
Okay. Well, I'm hoping.
Okay, we'll see. In 3, 2, 1.
Grape.
Apple. Oh, I knew you were gonna choose grape. I knew you were gonna choose
I
grape.
knew you were in between those two.
Because I immediately knew it was going to be banana because we both don't like banana.
So you said banana, you said grape.
No, she said grape. I said apple.
Oh, you said apple.
Yeah.
Oh, you knew which one was counted.
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew she wasn't going to choose banana.
I knew you weren't gonna choose banana, but I didn't know. I was like, what if she chooses grape? And then you
Yeah.
went and you chose
I'm
grape.
sorry.
How
It's
could
okay.
you?
Next
How could you?
time. Next time.
We'll do one more.
Okay.
Let's see if we can.
Right.
Can
We
redeem
we
ourselves.
can end strong. We
Yeah,
can
we
end
can
strong.
All right. So it is dog, cat, or fish.
Oh God. Okay.
Dog, cat, or fish. Since you already have it locked in, Jordan, send the signals over to Sydney.
And I'm getting one, but I'm also getting another. So, but I'm gonna choose one. So you should choose that one too. Okay.
Yes, I know which one I'm
She's
choosing.
very
Cool.
strong in what she took her half a second to think of it.
I got it.
Like I always think of one immediately, and I'm like, well, is she gonna choose it? And now after we've messed up,
Now you have
Like,
your-
I doubt.
I
have
think
doubts.
this one will. I think this one will be
okay,
good.
I'm hoping.
All right, let's see. If not, we'll do another round to finish. I'm just kidding. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Dog.
Yay!
Thank you. Nice doing business with you. Thank you so much.
The stats are good. 2 out of 3.
Right,
It's
right.
good.
Yes, exactly.
You're
Good
not
job.
the same person, right?
No,
so
there
it
you
has
go.
to be a little bit. So
Exactly.
you heard it here today. Twin telepathy is a thing. And we're about to witness it live. That's so exciting. Thank you. For
Yes,
of
oh my
course.
gosh.
in this game. When I told Sarah, I was like, what eyes is she going to give me? She's like, sure, okay. But yeah,
No,
so
that was fun.
Yeah. I'm glad that you've never been challenged with this before either, too. So that's pretty awesome.
No, yeah, that's really fun.
So then the next thing we have is 2 truths and a lie. Sarah,
Yes.
do you want to get that thing started, our little segment for that?
Yeah, we're doing another game. So we told the twins to come up with their own truths and a lie about kind of their major, their experience, something related to their career, and then we don't really know what it is.
Yeah, we don't.
We don't. So we are gonna guess which ones are the truth and what is the lie. So I'm very excited for this because I don't know what to expect. yeah. And I'm very competitive, so I really want to get it right.
Oh, are we competing? I mean, trying to get
Actually, I think
now
we
I'm more
should.
scared. All right, let's go.
Let's see who gets it
Now
right.
Let's do it. All right.
Okay, we do
The
wanna
only
start?
way that she'll play is if we do it in a competition.
Wonderful.
If we win, what do we get? Well, more like if I win, what do I get?
No.
You have 2
Nothing.
chances, so
There's, There's only 2 things on the table: a matcha or a boba.
Okay,
Oh, so real.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, sounds good.
Honestly, I feel like mine will be pretty easy for the both of you since you have been so involved in my experience at Grossmont that it'll be pretty.
I don't know how involved. I just found out you applied to SDSU bio major. I did not know.
Oh my gosh,
I did it?
I knew you were switching to bio, but I didn't know you officially went through the
Oh,
steps
okay.
of applying and all of that. So that's why when I was like, uh-oh.
Don't worry, none of our family knew either.
Oh, okay.
No, she
I didn't
called
tell
people and
anyone.
she was like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, I got into SDSU." They were like, "You applied?" I didn't
She
know
won't tell
that.
anyone.
When did that happen? Yeah.
Okay, I feel less bad. All right, maybe I have a fighting chance. All right.
Okay.
So again, it's 2 truths, 1 lie. So we have to guess which one is a lie. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Getting started. So the first one is there are only 2 universities in California that have a forensic science major. The second one is you need a bachelor's degree if you want to do forensics. And the third one is that I took 3 different math courses to fulfill the math requirement when I only needed 1.
Too easy, I think.
Go. I'm gonna let you go.
I think the second one is the lie because you don't need The second one would be the lie because you don't need a forensic degree to work in forensics, like an actual bachelor's degree, if that's what you're referring to. I do think there's only potentially 2 programs because I remember you were stuck on potentially like transferring or doing a different major. And the last one, because you kept changing your major, I think is very believable that you've done 3 different math classes.
Yeah, because I'm like what about your math? I remember your journey into all the maths and the physics and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, I would definitely agree.
You both are correct.
We know you so well.
And matcha, it sounds like.
Matcha for all.
Yes, matcha. You get a matcha and you get a matcha. Okay, my turn. I also feel like mine's a little easy, but okay. So when I attended Grossmont, I was a straight A student. I have 3 degrees in total, or I worked on campus jobs all throughout my college career.
Ooh, wait, hold on. Wait, you're all college, like including SDSU?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, go back, say them again.
Okay. When I attended Grossmont, I was a straight A student.
Straight A. Like
Straight A.
No
Straight A.
B.
I have 3 degrees in total, or I worked on campus jobs throughout my college career.
So I believe you have 3 degrees. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
Is it
that's
true?
that, because at least 2 here and then 1 at SDSU.
Yeah.
That's easy. Truth.
Yeah, and then I feel we never talked about like I feel like you could get all A's. Like that's not like a doubt I have. I just don't know if like you had like one. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like that one stats class that I had. That I'm like I think I'm leaning toward because I don't. From what I remember, from what I know from Jordan, I don't think you worked on campus at SDSU. I know you worked here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to believe in your potential that you got all A's, and then I'm going to go with the lies that you worked on campus all 3 years, or yeah, all your whole time.
Yeah, same thing for me, because I know you worked on Starbucks. But would the Starbucks on campus count as working on campus?
Do you want to know the answer to that?
Yeah, we already guessed.
Because if it's the Starbucks on campus, then the first one is the lie.
Yeah.
But if the Starbucks wasn't on campus, that is the last one.
But you have to guess without knowing that information.
Then because you guessed the last one, I'll guess the first one.
I was not a straight A student. I got 2 B's.
See?
I won. Let's go. Yeah, no, it was those like 1 classes where I was like, oh my God, like a B? Yeah,
see?
no.
Yeah. See, that was
I've
good.
been waiting for my matcha and boba. Thank you, Diana.
One from our local, your favorite local spot.
Ooh, thank you.
See, that was a good one.
Yes.
Yeah, so the Starbucks on campus.
It was it was a Starbucks on campus. So technically, like I was a student worker.
See, that's where you threw me off. See,
yeah.
Critical thinking. You know, I had to go a little extra step.
Well, I guess because I was like, there's probably like 1 class or something. But you know what? I believed in your potential.
Thank you. No,
when
I'm
Sarah
so glad.
didn't.
I did too, but I was critically thinking. I was
Right.
like, okay,
Right.
Starbucks, I know, but I remember once Jordan said, oh, like she works on campus, or like the Starbucks that's like outside, not the union one, but it's technically still on campus. So when I went there, I remember that was like off campus, but still on campus.
Yes.
So I was using my knowledge.
Yes.
And you started
talk about
working
you a
there
lot.
your junior year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right when I transferred, I applied to work at the Starbucks on campus, and then
Nice. Alrighty, well, thank you all for indulging us in these games. It was really fun, a little kind of way to get to know you all a little bit more. So yeah, let's get started with some questions.
There's something I'm super curious about, and that is basically how did we both start at kind of in criminal justice, and then you kind of diverged completely. You're doing completely different things. So like, how did the interest happen? How did you decide for you to go kind of the forensic route, and then for you kind of criminal justice, criminal investigation? So if you could both tell us a little bit about how your interest started and kind of how did it go from there?
I think, well, we've always had really similar interests. It always, like, Jordan started reading, I started reading. Jordan got into, this type of music, I got into this type of music. And so we always were really similar, as all, twins, it is what it is. But it was, I remember we were both like really, were you going to go the English route?
Yep.
We were both going to go the English route, and in high school, I had a teacher that was like, you shouldn't do that. Like, you're not a good writer. And I was like, oh. I was like, oh, that's really nice of you. Thank you so much. And so I know, exactly. You know, I'm an impressionable teenager, and so I was like, oh, I guess I can't do English anymore. And so I was really like running around trying to find something else that I was passionate about, and I was like, wait, like, I think criminal justice is really interesting. And you know, I was listening to podcasts, true crime, and watching TV shows and seeing all of that, and I was like, wait, this is really interesting. And I didn't choose the forensic science route because all throughout, you know, high school, middle school, I sucked at science, and I was like, gosh, I cannot imagine doing more years of science. Like, that's like my insane asylum, like rocking back and forth. Like, no, get me out of the science classes. Yeah. But so then I was like, I do like the investigation aspect. I really would like to go into that. So that's why I chose my route.
For me, it was kind of the same thing. In like middle school, I got really into reading. And I had a really great English teacher who encouraged me, would give me she would buy books for me that I was interested in. And so I really wanted to go that route, but I kind of had the same experience as Cindy. We had the same teacher who kind of told us that English wasn't the route for us. We weren't good writers. We couldn't do this, this, and this. And honestly, it was a lot of mixed signals that I would get personally. I don't know if you experienced that, but
same.
It would be like one English teacher is like, you are in too low of a level. You need to do AP. And then the AP teacher would be like, you suck. You need to go down to the regular level. And then I'd go down to the regular level, and they'd be like, oh, you are too good for this. So it was really mixed signals, and I wasn't really sure that was the route that I wanted to do. And then what happened was we were slowly getting introduced to more crime TV, that kind of stuff. I hate to say it, but, we were like, really interested in that.
It's a good way to get into it, I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, you got into criminal justice through TV shows. It's nothing like TV. And it's like, well, yes, but it does give you an introduction to it. Yeah. And it really, helps, people get into the field. So I don't think it's something to look down on.
I think it's a good starting point, right?
Yes,
if you
exactly.
Just stay in the journey because of what you see on TV, but don't see all these pathways, the different things.
Right.
Okay, but it's kind of where your attention gets drawn to, what you're exposed to, what, because even now when I think of what I like in podcasts is listening to people's stories and stuff, and it's kind of what I do on my day to day. So I could see it as a good starting point, and I don't think that's a bad thing.
Right, yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, that was what originally I was like, oh, because I would watch the TV show, and then I'd really like the forensics part of it, figuring stuff out using science and all that stuff. And then in high school, I was kind of playing with that a little bit with one of my teachers and some of my counselors. I was like, I'm really interested in doing forensics. And they were like, oh, well, my counselor was like, if you are interested in forensics, you should take a physiology class. We offer that for the first time this upcoming semester. So I was like, cool. And that teacher was like, hey, did you know Grossmont has an amazing forensic technology program? And I was like, no, I did not. I was planning on going there anyway, but, I would love to learn more about this. And she was really encouraging on being very involved in, hey, we're covering this in physiology right now. You could apply that to forensics.
Oh,
this would be
connection.
Cool. Exactly. She was amazing. I had her for biology too my freshman year. And so she was just a really big factor in me pursuing forensics here. It kind of ended up changing a bit while I was here. I kind of got a little bit confused, but in the end, it all led back to forensics.
And you do enjoy the sciences, unlike
yes, I always loved science. I loved my high school chemistry teacher. I loved him to death. He was amazing. Shout out, Mr. Martin. You're a real one. That's why I wanted to do chemistry stuff. I was really interested in chemistry because I loved that high school class. And, you know, doing college level courses has kind of flipped out around for me a bit. But, you know, certain things have come to light, and now I'm doing biology, which I hated in high school. But, yeah.
And then, so then you started both of you, like, thinking in high school, maybe English.
Yeah.
But then as you found out about the programs, so starting Grossmont, you're like administration of justice,
yes.
obviously forensics. So that was what you already started Grossmont knowing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then it didn't switch for you then? You went on the transfer pathway, right? To like
yes.
SDSU, that changed at all? Anything for you?
No, it was very much like when I came to Grossmont, I knew that I wanted to do administration of justice because there are so many like different criminal justice, like actual majors. You know, there's criminology, there's law, you can go the law route, you can do forensic science, you can do all of that. And so administration of justice is just all of those. When you go up to the higher levels, then you can really choose, oh, well, actually, I do want to do the criminal justice route. Oh, I really actually want to do law, or I want to do criminology. And when I did administration of justice, I was like, I'm going to do criminal justice after. Like, you know, I'm just going to do the other one.
And then you said investigation? That's
yes.
kind of like your vision. Can you explain to us a little bit more what that means for you?
Yeah, I mean, I have always been interested in like getting, like, I feel like forensic science is more of like you are given the questions and then you find the answers and then you give them to the investigator and then they take all of these answered questions and they paint the picture. And so I've always really liked that of like, oh, I get to have all of this and I get to put all of the pieces together and I get to have fun, and because I love the mystery of it. And so I feel like a lot of people, when they think of criminal justice, like the main thing is like, oh, you're going to work as a police officer, you're going to work in a prison, you know, all of these, like those are kind of the fields that you are pushed into when you go to criminal justice, but there are so many other routes that you can take that I feel like some people don't really know about.
Yeah. And you're talking a little bit about starting at Grossmont. So obviously we work for the first year experience program. What do you remember from like your first year? Was there any challenges or any resources that you did take advantage of? Like if you can think back as a first year at Grossmont College, what was that for you, your journeys? I mean, you had each other, so that's a nice starting point.
Love.
But how was that for you? Walk us down to your first year, what you can remember.
Yeah, so for us, our first year was fully online because of COVID. So it looks a lot different than FYE does now. Our like Griffin experience was fully online with, you know, little Zoom boxes. That's how we met our mentors, which we got different mentors.
Okay.
Honestly, there's not really much to say about our first year, I think, because it's so different than what it's like now, where it was strictly on Zoom, strictly over text. I didn't really have that connection with my mentor. If I needed like a counseling appointment last minute, I'd be like, hey girl, can you make me a counseling appointment? She'd be like, yeah. And then she'd make me the counseling appointment. And that's really the most that I had with my mentor.
But I feel like I wish I took advantage of my mentor more. I think being a first year student, it's especially like we're first generation college students, so we were going in really blind of all of the college experience, like, you know, what are you supposed to do? And so FYU truly did help a lot, and like making you a counselor appointment and doing all of that, and really, because like it was all mandatory. You have to meet with your mentor, you have to have the counseling appointment, and these are things that we just wouldn't have known. And I really wish when I first started I took more advantage of that, because there's so much that now when I look back on, I'm like, oh, I wish I knew that, or I wish I, you know, took advantage of that. I wish I met with my, you know, I had obviously an amazing counselor. Hint, hint. But I wonder who that could be.
Where they're at.
I wonder how she's doing. But that was so helpful. I think one of the reasons that I was able to transfer so smoothly, everything was so just like planned out for me from the beginning. It was all like my meetings with you, and like it helped me so much, especially like when I transferred to SDSU. The counselors there were not like anywhere active. Similar. Yeah. And I think it's because, you know, we had FYE. These were our counselors, and we could come to you, you know, for all of our questions and all of the things, and really had a hand to hold through this whole process that I had no idea anything about. But I also, like, again, wish I knew more of the stuff that was going on. But, you know, again, we were 2020, but it is what it is, you know.
And how has how was your transition now that you're going to upper division? Like so let's maybe hit on how was your transition with the specific like administration of justice classes, and then just the transition as a college student in general? It
was honestly it was really jarring for me, especially because, you know, our first year was online, and then our second year they were trying to bring us back. And when I transferred, everything was back. SDSU is completely back in person. So I hadn't had this experience yet. And so it was all of my classes are in person. I don't have any online, which was already a transition for me. And then it was I have to make an appointment with my counselor, but all of them are gone. I can't, she was high demand. I couldn't, I was and then we would meet and we would sit down and we would have this hour-long appointment. You know, we had hour-long appointments, but when we had those appointments, it would be these are the classes you could take and this is all about them. And she would give me the piece of paper and be well, you have to figure it out. And I was I have to? You're not just going to tell me what classes there are and you're not going to explain them to me? Yeah. And so then it was and then I'm taking these classes and then I'm going in person, and it was at first, because, you know, I did say that I did only get 2 Bs while I was at Grossmont, which I'm so proud of myself. But then when I went to SDSU and I started, I got my first C, I was what is this? Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm scared.
Was that your first semester or?
Yeah.
First semester's hard to transition.
It really is, because it was just so much packed on my shoulders. I had transfer students. I think when I got there, I thought I got a pretty good pick of the teachers, but then I was oh wait, no I didn't, because I had some really bad ones too, which is why always rate my professor. I think that's so important, because I got stuck with some lousy professors, and they can really make or break your love for a class. You know, I had people that took the same professors as me that were oh my god, I hated that class, that was terrible, and I was what? That was my favorite class ever. I took a criminal.
Has different experiences.
Yeah, exactly. I took a criminal law class that I loved. I had the best professor ever, and then my friend took it and was no, I hate him. He would I don't like criminal law. This is terrible. And I was oh well, you know, different experiences, different, you know, kind of that kind of stuff. So.
Did you get involved at all at SDSU?
Yeah, I was in a lot of clubs. I was, and because I worked on campus, because being a commuter student, it makes it so much different from being in the community of being there, because I can leave whenever I want and I don't have to be around these people all of the time. And so, you know,
I need my space.
I know. I'm I have to go home. It's literally 10 minutes down the street. Guys, I can't be here anymore.
My twin's calling me back.
I'm guys, I have to go. No, I can't stay. Sorry, you guys.
My twin needs
me. Yeah. She needs me. Did you guys know? No. Oh my gosh. The first time Jordan walked into my on-campus job, I forgot to tell everybody that I was a twin. So
You've been doing that.
I know. Oh my God, I do that all the time. Yeah, because I did that at my new Starbucks job too. Jordan walks in and everyone's Sydney, and she's no, sorry, Sydney's behind you, girl. But working on campus, really I was able to make so many more friends because I was working with all of these people, and then people from my classes coming to visit me while I'm at work, because I'm oh hey guys, you know, at the start of a lot of college classes, I think they ask for 3 things about you, and one of my things was always I work at the on-campus Starbucks. And so then a lot of my classmates would come to visit me, and so it was it really put me like in the center of it, which was so fantastic, because otherwise, I'm just going home.
Yeah.
I don't have any reason to stay here. Like, I go to class and then I'm going home.
Yeah. That's a nice way, because now we're getting students that are ready to transition and go into SC. How are you feeling about that? I know you know Sydney's experience, but how are you feeling just about the transition over?
Honestly, I'm really excited, because just for SDSU in general and my experience with being at Grossmont and kind of learning throughout my journey here that I technically don't really need a bachelor's degree for what I want to do, but then, specifically what I wanted to do in forensics changing while I'm in the program and all of that stuff. I'm excited because I will have the stuff that I need to, technically I could start and get a job in fingerprinting or being a crime scene technician, right, when I graduate. But then there's that I get to go and pursue a biology degree that can open up more doors if I do want to go the science route, which is technically, what high school me wanted to do and what high school me was kind of set on doing. So there's that portion as well. But because from what I've learned from professors and just, career fairs that we've had at Grossmont, where I've been able to talk to people from the crime lab, it's a high burnout job. So I might...
What is the forensics tech?
Yes, being a forensic evidence technician, going to crime scenes, collecting evidence, very high burnout, because there's, crime can happen whenever, so you're it's not a set schedule.
Oh, I could see that.
Whereas like fingerprinting, you're in an office, it's an office job where that's more, stable, I would say. But for a while I really wanted to be an evidence technician, to go to crime scenes, collect evidence. So when I found out, it's a high burnout job, I probably won't be able to sustain that for years and years and years. So finding out that, hey, like I could go get a biology degree at SDSU and potentially go into the science portion and be a criminologist and do that whole stuff, that I was really excited for that. So I think it'll be interesting to see if I do go for any jobs, internships while I'm at SDSU and how that plays out, to see, because technically I can start working once I'm done at Grossmont. So it's just that experience whole thing is kind of iffy.
Yeah. One of the questions that I have that oftentimes then students within this field are kind of curious about, like the different paths and things like that, and since you all kind of navigated a little bit of that, right, is there any like a short message or anything that you would leave to a student trying to explore this, someone that you talked to, or anything that you did, like any piece of advice that you have with someone that's thinking of this path?
I can go into a little bit about forensics, and then you can go into the more criminal justice side. But for like really briefly for forensics, I for forever thought I need a bachelor's degree. I'm gonna have to transfer. I'm gonna have to spend years and years doing a bunch of science classes before I can really get into the forensics and know if that's really what I want to do. And doing the program at Grossmont has really opens up all of the job possibilities. They really go into depth into what you're going to be doing and the different types of jobs that you could be interested in. They lay it all out for you. So I think that if there's anybody questioning like where specifically they want to go in forensics, because you could go a lot of different ways, doing the program at Grossmont really hammers in, what you want. Is this really what you want to do? What specific pathway do you want to take, and that stuff.
So starting like the specific classes within
yes.
it. Okay. Okay.
I think my biggest piece of advice for people that are, interested in investigation and going into those kinds of jobs, please heed this because I didn't do this, but talk to your professors, get to know your professors, go to office hours. Even if you don't have any questions, just go talk to your professors, get to know them. They are resources at the end of the day, and they are there to help you. And I have such a good professor that I'm really good friends with, and she, you know, has given me her contacts. She's helped me with like, you know, oh, I'm stuck, I'm not really finding any jobs, and she's like, oh, well, I have this contact for you, like go, like email them, tell them that you know me, blah, blah, blah. So yes, definitely get in touch with your professors, get as much as experience as you can, because the job market, that's what they're looking for right now, especially for investigators. If that's what you're looking to do, they really, really want experience. So, you know, because when I started college, the number one thing was just like, get the degree, and then you're good and you're going to get the job. And now the job market always changing, obviously, they want experience now. And so it's like, I have this degree and now I also need experience on top of that. And so that's what I'm finding right now is that I need to go find an internship. I need to go find, you know, a lower paying job that is going to give me the experience that I need. So if I didn't have these connections and, you know, talking to my professors and doing that, it would not be, you know, as ideal of a situation.
Yeah, so valuable, so valuable. Yeah, like you said, that's also kind of needed on the side, because how else can you kind of speak to the volume of work that you've done in the field? Well, thank you both. I know we had a little bit of a longer session, but there was two of you. Okay.
Yes,
so
of course.
I hope you tuned in and you got to hear two different experiences within the same field. And Sarah, you want to close us off?
Yes, it's podcast times 2. So you're basically listening 2 for 1.
Yes, 2 for 1. I love that.
Exactly.
2 for 1.
That's cute.
As we've always been.
I love that. We really hope that today's episode has given our listeners some valuable insights into the diverse opportunities available in the criminal justice and forensics world. Whether you're just starting your college journey or already have a career in mind, there's always more to explore, such as listening to this podcast. Be sure to tune in next time for more career chats with Grossmont College alumni, students, and faculty.
Thank you. Bye.
This has been the FYI podcast with the counselors of Grossmont College, brought to you by Zaravan Ali from Griffin Radio.